Hi everyone, this is Matthew Nunes and welcome to Writing, Publishing, and Editing. So in this video, I'm going to tell you a little bit about the class and also show you around our Canvas site. But of course, make sure that you explore the Canvas site on your own to make sure you know where everything is. And right here on the front page of our Canvas site, you're going to find, of course, the easy link to the syllabus, the modules, and of course, my contact information here. And we have our helpful to-do list here over on the right. Just be aware, of course, that if there is more than one thing listed on the same day, it might not be listing them in the correct order. So the best place to make sure you are having things in the correct order is on the modules page. But we're going to go ahead and start with the syllabus. And you will want to make sure that you read through the syllabus more thoroughly on your own. I'm just going to give some highlights and summary a little bit today. And I do have a printable version of the syllabus linked to here if you prefer to print it out, because it does take multiple pages. So that'll take you to a Google Doc and you can print it from there. So I have, of course, a little bit of information about myself here in my introduction video, so you can see that if you haven't already. And my contact information, so even though this class is online, I will be having some office hours in my office at the Middletown campus. So I do have a presence there. So you're welcome to drop by if you happen to be around, or of course, I'm also available during those times and some of the times beyond that to meet with you if you'd like to, whether it be in person, by video, by phone, answer any questions you have, address any problems. And of course, email is always a very dependable way to get a hold of me. I check that throughout the day. So about the class itself. So 420C, Writing, Publishing, and Editing. It's not really a creative writing course, although it is in some sense about creative writing because it deals with publishing. So really, it's a course that really is giving us the perspective of writing, publishing, and editing through the perspective of really both the writer and the publisher. So that's about the business side of writing. As a writer, you also want to consider, well, what do I do with my novel manuscript or my short story? How do I go about publishing this? And so there are a lot of different options for publishing. There are a lot of different careers you can go into in publishing, publishing, and writing and editing. So this is really addressing multiple viewpoints here on the profession, really. Whether you're interested in being a writer and publishing your work, or whether you're interested on the publishing side of the business of working for a publishing house, for example, being an editor or a copy editor, something like that. We are going to address all of it. So it's going to be a kind of nice big general overview for you, which I hope will give you a good sense of writing, publishing, and editing, whatever place you're coming from. And so this way it can be practically useful for you as you head into graduation later, and whether you become a writer, go into this industry, or just find out a little bit more about writing, publishing, and editing. So we have some general learning outcomes I have listed here, which I hope will be helpful for you. You can read through those on your own. One nice thing is that all of the class readings and materials are provided for you on Canvas, so we do not have a textbook that you need to buy, so that's nice. And of course, you will want to make sure, of course, that you, if you wanted to print something on your own, you are just responsible for doing that, because there are a lot of articles that are online, and there's a lot of screen time to read through all of those. And of course, you want to make sure you're checking your email regularly as well. So there you have the general setup of a lot of the modules, something like this, where we have some materials to read through. We have a discussion or two. We have generally a slightly larger assignment per major module. Also, some preflection journals. And you might wonder, what does preflection mean? Well, it has to do with reflecting not only on the past, but also reflecting ahead, thinking ahead to the future as well. So kind of doing both at once. So that's preflection. This is Dr. Melby's term, and I really like it. And the final you will also have a big major project at the end of the course that you really get to customize based on your own interests, whether it be you're interested in being a writer and publishing your own work, or if you're interested in working in the publishing industry. There's a lot of different options that you can do for the final project, which is a lot of fun. And again, I'll share more details about that as the class proceeds. So general overview here, of course, of the grading. A big chunk of the course grade is really focusing a lot of that homework. So we have a lot of discussion activities, those preflections, some other short activities. Those are all toward that homework grade of 55%. Then we have some more major assignments, and as you can see, that the point breakdown here shows that which ones are bigger. And obviously, the final project is the big assignment. That one is more important than all the other three put together. But these are also shorter major assignments for those in modules 2, 3, and 4. that are kind of helping you put into practice some of what you're learning in those modules. And so I hope you will find those to be helpful and interesting. And I'll have the general grading scale here, of course. Regarding late work, of course, obviously, if you having problems in your schedule, having things come up, you should contact me, right? So if something's due by a certain time, then you want to get it in by that time. And so, but if there are circumstances where they would warrant an extension, I can do that, but you just need to contact me. So I can't give an extension if you don't talk to me. So just think of this as a professional setting, right? Where just like if you were working for, let's say you're working for a publishing house, right? You can't make it to work. Well, you contact your employer, tell them you can't come in, or you're going to be late, right? So the same concept applies to classes as well. This professional thing to do is to communicate if you are having difficulties and need extra time or anything like that. And so I'll try to be understanding of your circumstances, but again, communication is key. So some late work will be getting a late penalty, reduced, and so there are other late work might not even be accepted depending on what that is. So do keep that in mind as well. Academic integrity, you've probably heard this before for many classes. So you probably feel like you're pretty familiar with this, but there are a few things that might be new to you on this one. So obviously, the work that you write for this class should be your own, unless told otherwise. And so this is where you don't want to represent something as something that you did when somebody else did it, whether it be something copied from the internet or you had somebody do it for you. But the other element of that now is also AI, right? So using AI to do work is also cheating. In fact, last semester, I caught 7 students doing this, and they were all found responsible. And again, in all cases, it was AI. And so this is something you don't want to do. So the use of generative AI for the completing assignments at any phase is prohibited in this class, unless given explicit instruction by me to do so, which basically means don't use it. So that includes ChatGPT, Gemini, a bunch of those other generative AI things. So don't use those. That's considered cheating and a breach of academic integrity. But also on top of that, a lot of the writing tools that are out there now, including Grammarly, use AI, and so you cannot use the Grammarly for this class or other similar writing tools. So if you have Grammarly assigned or a similar AI tool, let's say their extension installed in your browser, you will need to uninstall it for the duration of this class. Again, make sure you're doing everything. Your work is entirely your own and no AI use at all. And I have some details here about the sanctions about that. Good to realize that there are are important and real consequences to that type of thing. And hopefully it's not something you think of ever doing anyway, so in which case you wouldn't have to worry about it. But there is going to be a short quiz on the academic integrity policy, which is why I wanted to highlight it here and have a lot of details here on the syllabus as well. So I do have some general expectations listed here for you. And for me, which includes, checking your the Canvas site regularly, making sure you're checking your email, completing assignments on time, things like that. And of course, I, on my part, will be giving you regular updates and announcements, be timely in responding to emails, try to be timely in responding to your work and grading and giving you feedback. So, again, these are hopefully given for most classes here. And of course, I have some other general resources here. So the modules, though, let's take a quick look at that so you can get a general sense of what we'll be addressing and in what order for the class. So our first introductory module is module 0. This is what you'll be completing very quickly. It's really, as I said, more of that introductory module. Make sure everybody understands all of the policies. Then we have an introductions discussion so that you can get to know who your classmates are, and I can get to know everybody a little bit better. I see some familiar names on the roster, so it's good to have some people back for another class, but also see some new names to me. It's great to have some new people in the class, and I'm looking forward to hearing more about everybody in that introductions discussion. And then we'll be following that up with surveying professions in writing, publishing, and editing. And so this is, as I said, we're going to have some discussions. Respond to multiple class materials I provide for you on these pages. This is going to include thinking about that general landscape of writing, publishing, and editing, which applies to writers as well. A lot of this is going to relate to careers in publishing and editing, but also the impact of AI on writing, publishing, and editing, which is a very important new thing that many people worry about, but also need to be aware of. Again, I'm going to be showing you a lot more details about all of the assignments in my weekly updates, and so I'll give some more depth about all of those as we go along. We'll end off each module will end with a preflection journal entry. Again, I have more details about those assignments on Canvas. And then we'll look into more specific markets for publishing writing, and so that'll be quite interesting. So depending on what type of market you are interested, if for publishing your own work, for example, we can get a good sense of those markets that are out there, the various markets. And then we'll address the publication process from the writer's side. So this is where you'd be preparing a piece of work as though you're going to send it in for publication. It's really going to be a lot of fun. But also some materials in there, crafting a query letter, lots of great fun with this. And then go on to the publication process from the publishing and editing side. So you can get both sides of the business here. And so this is where you could actually for one assignment, you can get put on the hat of the editor, but also get a good sense of that editor-writer relationship. And so that I think will be very useful for you, especially if you're thinking about a career in publishing. And then finally, our last module is focusing on the final project, which we'll be spending a good month on. And so, so that way you can get plenty of time to do it. We've got a lot of variety in final projects. So it's a lot of fun. And so I hope that you will enjoy all of that. Again, this is a very, very quick overview here. So again, there are more details on Canvas. But I'll be giving you updates regularly to kind of walk you through what we're doing every week, why we're doing certain things. And of course, I have notes and mini lectures on a lot of these pages as well, to kind of help unpack a lot of things for you. And of course, but if you do have any questions, any confusion, at any time, don't hesitate to reach out to me. Always happy to help out. So this is one of my favorite classes, and I hope that you will enjoy it as well. So I look forward to working with all of you this semester. And if you have any difficulties or questions at all, don't hesitate to let me know.